In this lesson, we're gonna create a torch fire and we'll see how the temperature works in order to create the fire effect. So let's get started. Make sure you open the scene called torch start. So let's go to FX tab and then let's go to flutes and let's go to 3D container, and I'm going to turn off the add emitter, so not every time I delete that. Okay, so let's click apply and let's move it up somewhere here. And now let's go to flute shape 2 and let's increase that to 50. Okay, so now let's select the flute and then shift and select the geometry, and then let's go again to flutes and let's go to add contents and let's go to emit from object option box. Let's go to edit and then reset the settings. Make sure the emitter type set to surface, and then let's click apply and let's hit play and see what we get. Okay, as you see, we get a smoke. So let's do some changes here. So if you come to contents method, you'll notice here we have temperature and it's turned off. So we need to enable that. Okay, so now if I hit play, you're not gonna see any changes, but the temperature is there. I can prove that by going to display, and then in the shaded display I can visualize that by changing that to temperature. So now I can see the temperature in the white. This is not the density, this is the temperature. Okay, even if it's white, because we are visualizing that. Okay, and let's go back and set that to as render, and I want to do another step here. I want to change the boundary draw to none. I don't want to see the grid. And let's go to dynamic simulation. I want to change the substeps to 2, and then I'm gonna turn on the emit in substeps. Okay, and now let's go to contents details, and in the density, before I change the density, I want just to go back and enable the auto resize. Okay, I forget to do that. And let's see, and if I hit play, okay, we don't see anything interesting till now. So I want to change the buoyancy of the density about 10. I want the flute to rise very fast. And I want to change the dissipation to 2 because I want to make the density disappear very fast. Okay, as you see, it's disappearing very fast. Okay, and another thing, I don't think I need to change anything here. Now let's go to temperature, and in the temperature I want to change the scale to 4. Okay, so this temperature scale is a multiplier for all these values. Okay, so let's set the buoyancy to about 20. I remember that I set that to 20. Okay, as you see, we don't see the result of the temperature. I'm gonna show you that in a moment. Okay, and let's set the dissipation about 6. Okay, and let's give it a try. Okay, so now in order to see the temperature or the fire, we need to go to shading here, and in the color, and this is really weird, you need to change the color to black. Okay, in order to see the fire. I don't understand how the developers set this one. Okay, so let's do that. As you see, we have a fire, and we need to do a couple of changes here. Okay, let's go to temperature again, and let's see the turbulence. Let's set that to 5, and let's hit play, and you see we have some turbulence here. Let's go to flute emitter and let's go to basic emitter attributes. I want to scale the rates about 400. Let's see. Okay, and let's hit play, and you see now we can see the fire. Okay, and I think I'm gonna change that to 600 because I want more density or fire. Okay, and let's go down And because we enable the temperature, now this attribute works. If you don't enable the temperature here in the flute shape, this is not gonna work, okay? So because we enabled that, now this is working, so we can increase the temperature or the heat by 2. Now let's see. Okay, of course, if you increase that too much, you will get, let's set it to 10, for example, and let's see. And now, as you see, the burning is too strong, okay? But I found the 2 works good in our example. And another thing we need to do is the flute drop off. I want to drop that to 0. Okay, great. And another thing I want to do here is going to fluid emission turbulence. I want to increase that something like that, 3.7, to have more turbulence on the emitter. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Let's go back to flute shape 1 and see in the temperature. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of noise, 0.1. I think it's enough for that, to add just a little bit of noise on the temperature. Okay, so now let's go to transparency. Here in the shading, you can increase the transparency of the fire or decrease it, okay, by controlling the transparency attribute. And here you can see the drop off, as you see, and you can change that to cone or anything you want. I will stick with the cube. And now let's go to rendering, to Arnold, and let's click on render and see. I want to change that to camera shape 1, okay? As you see, the result is pretty good. So now we are going to cache the file by going to ncache and then create new cache and then Maya flute cache. Okay, I did that earlier before recording the lecture, so I don't have to do it again. Okay, and I rendered 200 frames. So now let's move to Nuke. If you don't know Nuke, it's okay. You can use After Effects to do the glow effect on the fire. So let's play the animation. So now let's add a glow effect to add more realism to the fire. So let's type glow and select the glow. I want to add 2 glow nodes, okay? So now you'll notice the glow is affecting the wood too, okay? So I want to go there and increase the tolerance a little bit to remove the glow from this area. And let's increase a little bit just the glow and decrease the brightness a little bit. Now let's add another glow, Control C and Control V, and now this time I'm going to increase the size too much here, okay? And let's see that, let's the brightness, decrease that a little bit, and I think the first glow I can increase the size of that a little bit more, and the second one I want to set that 150. It's okay. Okay, let's play and test that. Okay, as you see, we added the glow and the fire looks great. Okay, let's go back to Maya and do another thing. Let's make the fire a little bit more interesting by adding the realism to it. So if I go to Arnold and then click on render, and let's go to opacity, and here I'm gonna click here, and then I'm going to set a dot here, and then I'm going to set another one here to move it down, okay? And I'm going to move the last dot to the down, and I'm going to set another dot here, and I want to fade that gradually. As you see, the fire now looks different, right? So let's add another one here. I am adding these dots to make the edges smoother, okay, for that. But you see, we lost the glow of the fire or the colors. Okay, we're gonna fix that in a moment. Okay, so let's close that, and now here in the opacity I can change that. Let's zoom in a little bit to see it better. Okay, and I can come to the incandescence and I can change these dots. So let's click one here to add another one, and I'm going to add a little bit of white color, yellowish. Okay, and you can increase that. Okay, you need to spend a little bit of time here, guys, okay, in order to make it looks really good. And we can go back here to the transparency and decrease that to show the fire a little bit more. And you see now we have some sharp glowing lines, okay, on the fire. And let's see, I think I'm gonna change that a little bit more here. Okay, okay, let's see if we can do anything else here. I think that's it. Okay, so this is another type of fire you can do. Okay, this will add more realism to the fire if you want to add these details on your fire. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next lesson.